What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Field channel where we speak the truth for honest. And we give our takes on the Miami Dolphins. Now, normally, this would be a Fins Up Friday, Football Friday, here on the Big Fight Field channel where we would be previewing this week's game on a Friday for the week, even a Monday game. I would be previewing it tomorrow. But we are doing the preview tonight because tomorrow I'm catching a flight out to Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, and then going to Tuscaloosa for the Georgia-Alabama game, which is going to be absolutely electric. Georgia is 1-5 in their last 6 games. Or Kirby Smart's 1-5 in his career against Alabama. But we're gonna know Saturday night. Is it a Nick Saban problem for Georgia, or is this an Alabama problem? And how is Alabama gonna look under Kalen DeBoer's first real test? This is number 2 versus number 4, and then Sunday, I'll be flying down to Miami for Monday Night Football as your Miami Dolphins, your really struggling Miami Dolphins, take on the 0-3 Tennessee Titans. And I talked about it on Tuesday. And this is really going to be a short preview because I don't really know what to say about this game. We don't have a lot of information. Like, today was the first day of practice for both teams. I know that Teron Armstead and Kendall Fuller are in concussion protocol, so it's very unlikely that those guys are not going to play on Monday night because they're in concussion protocol. So I doubt that we see them on the field on Monday night. Maybe we get Raheem Mostert back. I don't know. I don't even know if that's going to bolster the offense. Probably not. But, man, I'll tell you what. The Dolphins need this game in a bad way. And the Tennessee Titans, with Will Levis, stink. Will Levis stinks. And I know that last year, Will Levis dragged his balls all over Hard Rock Stadium in the last 4 minutes of that game, squeaking away with a 28-27 victory because Vic Fangio played soft coverage on the final 2 possessions, and it costed them the game. It costed them the game. Vic Fangio and the Dolphins defense costed the Dolphins the game. And the offense needed 1 first down, and they couldn't get it. And it leaves a sour taste in my mouth still because it ruined everything from last year. And if you look what's going on this year, last year was our best chance. Last year was our best chance to go ahead and make a run in the playoffs, win a fucking playoff game finally, but it did not happen. It did not happen, ladies and gentlemen. It was because of that game last year against the Tennessee Titans. I think leaving Hard Rock Stadium last year, outside of Game 7 of the NLCS versus the Diamondbacks, that was probably the most disgusted I've ever felt leaving a sporting event in my life was when the Dolphins blew a 2-touchdown lead last year to the Tennessee Titans. And going into this game, I'm smelling revenge. This Titans team, makes me hate them, man. It makes me hate them because Will Levis talking crap in the post game last year. Oh, I wonder what's going to happen on Hard Knocks. And, I mean, seriously, it was crushing. It was a crushing loss last year against the Tennessee Titans. But we moved the chapter to this year. And unfortunately, this year, Tua Tagovailoa is not going to be there. And we don't even know who the quarterback is going to be. And we'll talk about that and more. But I want to thank you guys for joining me here tonight. It's a special Thursday night preview. I know we got a game on tonight, but I'm not really too much into it. The Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Giants. Don't really care about either team that much, so I'm fine doing a preview on a Thursday night right here, getting you ready for Monday Night Football. Again, we don't know much going into this game. We don't know. We can assume, but we don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback. I'll tell you what, it better not be Skylar Thompson. It better not be Skylar Thompson, because if it's Skylar Thompson, I will lose my shit. Legitimately, I'm not kidding. I will lose my cool if Mike McDaniel trots out Skylar Thompson on national television Monday night. That would be a disaster waiting to happen. But subscribe. You guys see it in a little description down beneath here in the video. I will be at the game on Monday night. I will be vlogging. It's basically going to be the same routine as last year. I'm going to be down there with one of my better friends who is a fan of the Tennessee Titans. He's a Titans fan. I'm a Dolphins fan. That's why we're doing this game again. It should be fun. We'll be at the tailgate early. We were at the tailgate last year with a bunch of Dolphins fans. Big E, Ian Berger was there. I know Kickball Dad, who's a massive Dolphins fan, on TikTok was there. There were a ton of Dolphin fans that I knew that were there last year. I don't know how many are going to be there again, but, you know, I'm looking forward to it. The food trucks at the tailgating, the food trucks around the stadium, it's always a vibe. You know, tailgating at football events, it gets you hyped. It gets you so hyped for the game. And then you actually get in the stadium, and I'm like, oh, yeah, just get me to kickoff. It's like you get in there early, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this is the calm before the storm. And then the game happens, and you're like, Jesus. If it's good, it's good. Like the year against the Steelers, good game, man. Good game. Last year against the Titans, heartbreaker. Absolute heartbreaker. And the game did not start off well as well. We were losing at halftime to the Tennessee Titans, and we were losing going into the third quarter as well. So, but no, we're going to be running it back like we did last year. The tailgating, the food trucks, and we have really good seats as well. I know the past 2 years I was at Hard Rock, we had upper level seats in the 300 level, which I like because it's a good view, but I got some really good tickets by the end zone. But check this out real quickly. I got these tickets in June, right? And these tickets that I got, the cheapest tickets was like, I want to say $80-something in June. Right now. All right? What section am I in? I'm in section 103 on Monday night, okay? If you got these tickets now, the cheapest ticket for a Dolphins game on Monday night against the Titans is $18. Tickets are as low as $18 for the game Monday night against the Tennessee Titans. That's mind-boggling, folks. mind-boggling. That's because of how bad the Dolphins have been playing right now. So that's crazy. That's just something that I wanted to share before we got into the preview. I guess I should have waited for my tickets in September. So, I don't know. Just happy to have them. And we've got really good seats. And it should be a great vlog as well. Hopefully a win. But, let's go over some stats for the Titans offense and the Dolphins offense and the Titans defense and the Dolphins defense. And then we will do offense versus defense first. Titans offense and Dolphins defense first. But let's go over some offensive stats. The Tennessee Titans are 27th in passing yards with 193. The Dolphins are 8th in passing yards with 249 per game. That is going to decrease a lot. The Titans are 20th in the rushing yards per game with 101 rushing yards per game. The Dolphins are 25th with 95 rushing yards per game. That's not good at all. The Titans are 28th in the NFL with points per game at 16. And folks, I might throw up saying this. If you told me before the season, like, hey, by week 4, the Dolphins are going to be dead last in points per game. They're going to be dead last in points per game when we get to week 4 against the Tennessee Titans. Yet, here we are. The Dolphins have only scored 33 points on offense this year. They scored more points on offense in week 1 against the LA Chargers last year. They scored 36 points against the LA Chargers last year. They've had 33 points all season. It's not good around here, folks. It's not good. The Dolphins average 11 points per game, and that is dead last in the NFL. We will get to the Dolphins offense last. But first, we're going to talk about the Titans offense versus the Dolphins defense. And yes, the Titans have weapons. Overall, the Titans offense is 29th, 260 yards per game, and the Dolphins defense is 11th with 294.5 yards given up per game. The Titans are 27th in passing yards. The Dolphins passing defense is ranked 12th. The Titans running offense is ranked 20th. The Dolphins run defense is ranked 12th. The Titans are 0-3, yes, but the Titans have really good weapons. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. The Titans have some good weapons. The problem is Will Levis. Will Levis has not been good for the Titans this year. I know, I said it earlier, that he went to Hard Rock Stadium and dragged his balls all over that stadium in the last 4 minutes of that game last year. But, folks, Will Levis stinks. He's not good. He's not good. Look at the turnovers he's made against the Chicago Bears. Look at the turnover he had against the New York Jets, the backwards pass. That was pathetic. And then the play where he couldn't even, he didn't even see Jair Alexander. He stared at DeAndre Hopkins the whole time. He looked at DeAndre Hopkins the whole time. He's not good. But the Titans have good weapons. They have 2 really good running backs with Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears. We know based off of last year's game, Tajay Spears is a really good receiving back. And Tajay Spears I thought was going to be their future running back 1. And that was until they signed Tony Pollard in the offseason. He hasn't proven anything yet. How do I know that? Because he's on my fantasy team and he stinks. And I'm more worried about Spears in the passing game. Their receivers, they've got better receivers this year than they did last year. That's for sure. They've got DeAndre Hopkins. They signed Calvin Ridley to a massive contract in the offseason. And they signed Tyler Boyd. And Tyler Boyd is very underrated. It's kind of crazy. I don't think he's gotten the ball that much. 8 catches for 77 yards. Jeez. These guys only have 8 catches. It's early. But, yeah, man. The Titans have good weapons, but Will Levis stinks. And the thing with the Dolphins defense, and it's common because it's happened 3 weeks in a row, is they start off really slow in the first half. And then in the second half, you see an entire new defense. And 1 week against Jacksonville, it worked because it actually helped the Dolphins win the game. Whereas the last 2 weeks, it's been too little too late for the Dolphins defense. David Long, that's the other injury that I'm concerned about. He's facing his former team again, but he's got a hamstring injury. And I don't know if he's going to play Monday night because of that hamstring injury. And it's only Thursday, but he did not practice today. So if he can't play, Anthony Walker is your starting linebacker over David Long Jr. And let's see, Storm Duck. I know he's a little banged up, but the team doesn't seem to be too concerned about him. Ethan Bonner has not played at all yet this year. Every single week, Ethan Bonner has been on the inactive list. And, that's a problem because these veterans for the Dolphins have been getting a lot of rest in the months of July and August, and they're wearing their bucket hats and they're wearing their flip-flops. And it's all good in July and August, but then when you get to the season in September, it's not, because you're not football ready. The team hasn't bonded yet. And you know who was the standout? You know who was standouts in training camp? It was guys like Ethan Bonner. It was guys like Quentin Bell. Guys like Mohamed Kamara. Why? Now we know why. Because the veterans were taking vet rest days. The young guys were getting their reps. And now the young guys are not playing on Sundays because the vets, they decide to practice during the week now. Ethan Bonner might even start on Monday night at corner. But I've got 3 keys for this game and for the defense. And number 1, I kind of talked about it, but we need a complete game. Okay? A complete game from this defense. And what do I mean by that? I don't want, with our situation with offense, it is putrid. It is putrid. So we can't afford this defense going down 14-0 in the second quarter. Because guess what? If it's 14-0, this game might be over like that. Because I honestly don't think our offense could put up 14 points. I'm going to be honest with you. And it pains me to say that. But, excuse me, caught something in my throat. Our offense sucks. And we've got to rely on that defense. And as much as they've been great in the second half, we need what they do in the second half to the first half. We need the second half defense against Jacksonville. We need the 3 quarters worth of defense that we got on Sunday against Seattle. The first quarter defense, really bad. And then Anthony Weaver made adjustments, and they only scored a touchdown. And the touchdown they scored was the defense basically throwing in the towel. So we need a complete game out of the defense. That is key takeaway number one. Key number one. Key number two, get pressure on Will Levis. Listen, this team did a good job getting pressure on Geno Smith. All right? Geno Smith was getting passes batted in the air. He was in the pocket, scrambling, shoving the ball to Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet tips up in the air. It's an interception for Kato Kohu. Sacks on Geno Smith. This team did a good job getting pressure on Geno Smith Sunday. And we saw what results it did. It resulted in sacks, and it's resulted in turnovers. And last year, in the final 4 minutes, we did not get pressure on Will Levis. Vic Fangio did not get pressure on Will Levis. Luckily, we don't have Vic Fangio anymore. We have Anthony Weaver. I think Anthony Weaver can dial up that pressure on Will Levis on Monday night. Blitz Jordan Brooks. Get Zealer and let Zealer cook. Let Calais Campbell cook. Because their offensive line is not good. Their offensive line is not good, man. Do you know how many sacks? Do you know how many sacks the Packers had last week on Will Levis? 8 sacks. The Packers had 8 sacks last week, man. Get pressure on Will Levis, and I'm telling you, Will Levis will make mistakes. He makes mistakes without pressure. You get pressure on that boy, it's over. It's over. And then, number 3, say it every week, no stupid penalties. No stupid penalties that are going to cost this team this game. But the penalties happen more on offense than they do on defense. So now, it's a perfect time. It's a perfect time to transition over to the Dolphins offense versus the Tennessee Titans defense. So the Titans have a phenomenal defense. They did not give up a touchdown week 1 against the Bears. They held their own against the Jets. The only bad outing their defense had was against the Packers last week. That's it. And you look at their defense, man. Jeffrey Simmons did not practice today. I mean, we didn't see him last year, but if that guy plays, he's an issue. I think he would demolish our offensive line, and I'm still nervous about this offensive line against any team. They've got a banged up secondary. L'Jarius Sneed is not playing as good as he did last year, and with the Chiefs, he's in a new system now. But he's still one of the best corners in the NFL, and I can guarantee you he's going to be on Tyreek Hill a lot in this game. But let's go over some stats, and then I can give you my keys. The Titans' defense is ranked 5th overall with 263 yards given up per game. The Titans have a top 10 defense in the NFL. I'm not bullshitting you. The Titans' defense is great. The Dolphins' offense is ranked 16th, 318 yards per game. Titans' passing defense, is ranked 2nd, allowing 157 yards per game. I'm going to talk more about that. Dolphins passing offense is ranked 8th, 249.5 yards per game. Again, I talked about it earlier. That is going to decrease in the coming weeks. That is really going to decrease. Titans rushing defense is ranked 20th. The Dolphins running offense is ranked 25th. So, Mike McDaniel better get his head out of his ass. Because if we see a game like we did on Sunday in Seattle, I'm telling you, this fan base is going to boo him on Monday night. This fan base will boo Mike McDaniel and will boo this offense Monday night. And I talked about it earlier. I brought it up earlier. I swear. If this man starts Skylar Thompson, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. He does not give you a chance to win. Clearly, we saw that on Sunday. You either have to go with Tyler Huntley or Tim Boyle. Skylar Thompson should not be an option. He should not even be an option on Monday night. It should either be Tyler Huntley or Tim Boyle. That's it. At this point, I don't even care who starts. I know people are clamoring for Tyler Huntley to start because he can run. But folks, how much does Tyler Huntley actually know the playbook? You can't just rely on Tyler Huntley to take off and run every play. Yeah, that'd be cool, but how much does he know the playbook? That's my concern. He's been here for 10 days. 10 days. That's all he's been here for. He's been here for a hot coffee. So, let's get to the keys. Let's get to the keys for the Dolphins' offense. And the first one is so obvious. You cannot game plan. You cannot call the same offense with these guys like you do for Tua. You did not. Skylar Thompson's horrendous. Horrendous. Let's not mistake that. But Mike McDaniel did not set up Skylar Thompson for success last week. He called the same plays for Skylar that he would for Tua. But let's go ahead and dive into this. You can't call the same plays for these quarterbacks. You can't have the same offense with Tim Boyle than you do with Tua Tagovailoa. You just can't. Tua Tagovailoa has more talent than Tim Boyle does. He has more talent than Tyler Huntley does. You can't call the same plays with fucking Tim Boyle back at quarterback. You can't do it. You can't. You've got to adjust. You've got to go based off of Tim Boyle's strengths and Tyler Huntley's strengths, whoever's the quarterback. You can't be calling this game like it's fucking Tua at quarterback. Mike McDaniel needs to get his head out of his rear end. He's stubborn, and he doesn't want to change. And he thinks, I'm the smartest guy in the room. I'm this offensive guru. No, you're not. No, you're not. So that's key number one. He needs to call a different game with a quarterback not named Tua. Number two. What does he need to do more often? He needs to run the fucking ball. Why does he need to run the ball? Because look at the strength of the offensive line. It's not pass blocking, it's run blocking. Let me give you a good example. Last week, back-to-back plays, Devon Achane and Jalen Wright running the ball, got the ball into Seattle territory on 2 runs, got it to the 36-yard line of Seattle. The next 3 plays, pass the ball, incomplete. Next play, drops back to pass, sack. Next play, screen pass to Tyreek Hill, Tyreek drops the ball, Dolphins punt. We don't just have to run the ball. We have to fucking commit to the ball. To commit to running the ball. You cannot go into this game and have these guys drop back 30 times. Between Boyle and Skylar Thompson, throwing the ball 32 times with these guys, that is a recipe for a loss. A recipe for a loss. You've got to commit to running the ball. You're probably going to get Raheem Mostert back this week. I would imagine you would. I'd be shocked if he's not out there. So you have Achane, you have your entire running back room back. Guess what? Use them. Use them. You gave up a 3rd round pick for Jalen Wright. Use him. Use Jalen Wright. Commit to the run. And last but not least, find a way to get the ball to the playmakers. And the playmakers are Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Last week, no, unacceptable. Waddle should not have 4 catches for 26 yards. No. No, no, no. Mike McDaniel needs to do a way better job in getting creative and being able to get the ball in a creative way to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. We cannot have the same results like we did against Buffalo, like we did against Seattle. Last week, Tyreek Hill had 3 catches. 3 catches! He needs more production. Jalen Waddle needs more production. Achane needs more production. There's no way Achane should have only ran the ball 11 times last week. You've got to find a way to get the ball to your playmakers. If you don't, we're going to have another same disastrous, depressed game like we did last week against Seattle. And I don't want to fly all the way to Miami to watch a performance like last week. You are playing the Tennessee Titans. I'm not trying to discredit the Titans. I'm not trying to sit here and disrespect the Titans. But their starting quarterback's not good. They're not going to kill you with points unless you allow them to. They're not going to go in there and put 30 points up on you. But you can't fall behind. You can't go down 14-0 in this game. You can't throw the ball when you should obviously be running it. You've got to... McDaniel's got to coach smarter. Coach smarter, man. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. The next video you will see is my vlog. I don't know when that's going to be up, if it's going to be up Monday night or Tuesday when I'm at the airport. I have no idea yet. So I will let you in on that on Twitter. But now it's my vacation time. So I'm not getting another video until the vlog at the game on Monday. So have a good night. Stay safe. Subscribe, comment, like, follow me on Twitter, Colin_Joseph, all that stuff. And I'll see you from Hard Rock Stadium. Hard Rock Stadium, baby. I'll see you then. Peace. Go Dolphins.